You're going to bring your legs resting. Either you could rest on a chair or two chairs, whatever works for you. And if the chair is sort of short seated, you could be like that, where you're have this little gap. That's okay. The important thing about this position is that you have this contact with your back, with your legs up in the air. And so, if we were really doing the bat, we'd be hanging by our feet on a branch, right? Because that's how they often are resting. And otherwise they're in flight. So sometimes they crawl on the ground, all right? And they look really interesting when they do that. But they spend a lot of time hanging upside down. And in yoga, we have these poses or asanas called restorative poses or inverted poses that are very much like the bat, all right? And so the blood is flowing down into the organs of the body. And just even in this very mild inverted position, you're going to have great physiological effects to the belly, to the heart, to your nervous system. So a lot of times if you have a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, if you rest in this position, you will calm your nervous system down. All right. So it's a really helpful position for grounding. And how interesting the bat can teach us about grounding, right? But it's nourishing for your eyes, it's nourishing for the brain. And then we're going to do what I call a bat grooming practice, okay? And it's awesome if you want to put something over your eyes, you can, but maybe we'll start without it if you need to refer to the video. But so bats are big groomers. They groom themselves probably as much as cats do. And that's because their hair on their body and their wings need to be oiled, and like it's a fine-tuned machine for them in order to survive and to be so agile in the air. And so what you're going to do, let's rub our hands, activate our hands. Now, of course, they lick themselves a fair amount. We're not going to be licking ourselves, although that would be something. All right. We're going to just use our hands. So they'll do a lot with their mouths, but we're going to use our hands to groom. And then we're going to kind of pinch the skin a little bit and pull and kind of reach for the bones as you pinch and pull. And I'm starting with my arm, okay, and pinching and pulling the tissue off the bone, all right? So it feels a little pokey at first, but you don't have to pinch super hard. Your body will start to realize, oh, we're grooming now. We're trying to connect so that the skin and the hairs on the skin and everything will be kind of fluffed up, so to speak, okay? So you're gonna sort of pinch your body all over. Don't forget your neck, your throat, the back of your neck, okay, the skull. Let's squeeze and pinch around the skull and the face, around the jaw. Breathing around your eyebrows. Really do your face very well, pinching. And then on your chest, such an important area for balance. And we just spent, in the previous series, we worked with the squirrel in the chest. So with the bat, the chest, really important because that's where they move their wings from, right? And for us, when we walk, we don't really think about it, but our shoulders and our rib cage is very important for balance, okay? So pinch all around, pinch the breast tissue, the rib cage, the belly, and notice if there's any sore areas, because grooming is kind of a way to work with pain in this way of helping the circulation, yeah? And particularly in the digestive area, this is an important place for us to have really high function, because that's where the juice comes from. All our energy comes from our food and our air we breathe. So the lungs and the digestive area are super important areas to stimulate with your fingers. Okay. And then down below the navel area, another important area, because there's a lot of elimination. That's the lower bowel, the bladder, and then the sexual organs. Really important that energy is moving through there so it can flow downward. And then around the pubic bone, the groin area where the lymph nodes are from the legs. Another really important area. If you get swelling in your legs, pinch in there, and then it's tricky to do the butt and all, but we're going to work the legs. So slide one heel so that you can reach your upper leg easily and pinch with your fingers. We're just going to do what we can. Lift your leg and try to pinch the calf muscles, and then if you bring your knee a little closer to your chest, you can reach and pinch your feet. All right, let's try the other leg. So slide that heel a little bit away, pinching with the hands. If your thumbs get sore, you can sort of squeeze with the heel of your hand and your fingertips. Don't want to strain anything, doing your own grooming here, and lifting your foot to reach for the calves. Okay. All right. Now let's rub your hands again. I like to interlace my fingers to rub them. And then let's just soothe the area. Stroke your face, around your ears, below your chin, over the breasts, down. We've done this seated a lot, but now stroking the arms from the hand down through the armpit, through the breast, stroking and stroking, and then stroking down. And then reach for your foot and stroke up your leg, stroke up to the groin. Reach the other foot, stroke up your leg to the groin, okay? And then we're going to finish by stroking around the belly. Now, we didn't get our backs, right? So we're going to do some things a little bit to get to the back. It's a little tricky to pinch our own backs, okay? But just rest for a moment with your arms on the floor and feel now the contact with the back. You could kind of lift your butt and plop it a little bit, and lift a shoulder and plop, and lift the other shoulder and plop. Lift your head so you feel the back of your head. You can feel your back a little more on the floor, and the backs of your calves resting on the sofa or the chair or whatever you have. And just notice now the contact with the floor. All right. So as we lie here, I just want to say a few things about bats. They spend so much time grooming, like their wings they're like eyelid material, and they'll use their tongue and their mouth and the sides of their mouth to get oil glands releasing so that they oil their wings. They need to keep them waterproof and supple, so they're elastic. So they need to be grooming every day their wings, and then also the hairs on their body need to be fluffy and receptive, because they indicate so much of where they are in space. So imagine if we think about that as humans, which we don't have much hair. I mean, you might if you're a man, or you just have more hair as a woman, but we don't have that much hair in our skin. And so to try to awaken our sensing with our skin by rubbing the skin as we've done before. And today we're pinching, kind of pulling on the skin, to connect to the bones and to feel where we are in space. Okay. So this grooming practice, and I've done it in so many different ways and different series, is so helpful for your vitality, your balance, and your sense of navigation, like where you are in space. So seeing in the dark, which is what this whole thing's about. Okay, well, have a wonderful day or wonderful evening or whatever time it is that you're doing this lesson. And until I see you again, all right?